So now I want to look at the final two G codes in this G code little puzzle. I don't know whether you call it a puzzle, but well, anyway. We've got G0, G1, and these are the G2 and G3. And with these four G codes, you can do anything you want. You can do any shape, and you can get there using this rapid command. These four G codes are the backbone of any CNC program. So if you do anything like 3D printing, it uses these four G codes. And the same with the CNC router. If you're going to do any woodwork type stuff, these four G codes are used. So if you learn anything about CNC programming, if you want to learn the basic thing, learn these four G codes and understand. It's more important to understand how these four G codes work. So G2 and G3, often known as G03, G02, G02, G03, but I just call them G2 and G3, which is nice and simple. But I'm only telling you that because if you see them written as G02, it might confuse you. And Haas machines, if you work on a Haas control, it actually just slips that 0 in anyway when you type it in. You don't have to put it there, but it decides to put it in for itself. So G2 and G3, these do effectively arcs. So you can do a circle, you can do a quarter of a circle, a full circle, any bit of a circle that you want. And you can do that circle in a clockwise direction or a counterclockwise direction, depending on whether you use G2 or G3. You don't need to remember this because G codes, you always have a list. We've got a list on the website of G codes, so you can download that. The G code list will tell you all the G codes there are, and this G0, G1, G2 and G3 are probably the only four G codes that's worth bothering to remember. But you will remember them anyway because you'll see them that much if you're programming that you'll just get used to them, and they are the most common G codes. And as I said before, you can do any shape you want. So G2, for example, is a clockwise arc, and all we do is give it an end point. So we just give it an X and a Y point. In other words, this is where I want you to end up. And between where you are now and this end point, I want you to stick me a radius in there, and we tell it what radius that is. So quite simply, it puts that radius in for us, and we get that arc. And it doesn't have to be tangential to the line. It doesn't have to be anything. It will just do a circle between those 2 points. So let's just start stepping this thing through, just to get that out of the way. And I picked up my tool, and again I'm going to use a rapid command that takes this right down to, this is going to frighten most people bang. So there's nothing to stop you doing that. And once the program's proven out and it works, why wouldn't you want to do that? So now I'm going to start the spindle again, turn on my coolant. This time I'll leave it on. And I've got a G1, X and Y. So I'm moving X and Y to a position. And then I'm going to move my Y axis. So I'm going to feed along here, and I've machined that edge. And then my next command is a G2, which means do me a clockwise arc. And I want you to arrive. It's all right, I can't see it very well. I want you to arrive at X 76 and Y minus 106, I think it is. And between that where you are now and that point, I want you to stick me a 30mm radius. So there it goes. And we get that 30mm radius. That little brown bit there is where it's like, it's not quite cleaned up. But we ain't going to worry about that. And now I've switched back to G1. I can't just carry on because it will try and put me another clockwise arc, because this is what we call modal. In other words, you don't have to repeat these G codes if you want to reuse them. But I don't want to reuse G2. I want a G1 command now. I want to feed. So I'm going to feed along there. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do another G2, but this time I want to arrive at Y minus 76 and X minus 106, and I want a radius of 30mm. And it does it. And then I've got another G1. All I'm doing really is just putting 4 rads on these corners. But the point I'm illustrating is I'm using an end point and a radius. Straight line. And now I've got another end point and a clockwise radius, and then I'm coming off. Now I'm going up in the air. I'm going to the center of this component, And this is how we do a full circle. I'm not explaining all this to you, but the idea is I'm demonstrating that you can quite easily do a full circle. And that 40 is the radius of this full circle. And depending on whether I use I plus, I minus, J plus, J minus, is which way this circle will go. It's always going to be this counterclockwise radius because I put G3. And G3 is a counterclockwise radius. If I put G2, do the same, exactly the same circle, but it would go in the opposite direction. That's done me a full circle. So on a CNC machine, it's just as easy to do a circle as it is to do a straight line. I can do a clockwise circle, counterclockwise circle, wherever and whenever I want. And then I've swapped back now to rapid to move this thing away. Okay, so what I've done now is just switch this program around a bit just to make it a bit more interesting, and just so that I can demonstrate to you that these are you can use G2 and G3 wherever you want. So if you look at this now, if I come down and go into cut, you'll see I've got my first one, which I've got in as G2. I want you to try and guess what's going to happen here, because I've got this clockwise arc. And now I've got exactly the same as before, but this time I've put a counterclockwise arc. So try and guess what's going to happen. It's actually gone that way. So it's just gone the opposite way. It's gone to a G3 instead of a G2. And now I've got a G2 here. So that's my second arc. Let's just move this out of the way a bit. And this is my last one. Again, I've got a G3. So it's going around and out. And if you look at that part now, you'll see you've just got like a scallop type thing. So that's all you do, is just switch that G2 for a G3. Just reset that. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change this around a little bit more, and I'm going to try, we've got this G2 here and we've got a 30mm radius. So what's going to happen if I just said, well, actually, I don't want a 30mm radius, I want a 60mm radius. Now, I haven't changed the end point, so effectively it should put me that radius in between those 2 points. So let's just see what that looks like. And then on this one here, I'm going to actually put something stupid here. And I'm going to put a 300mm radius. Now, ask yourself, would that work? Can it do that? Is that possible? We're about to find out. So you can put any size radius in here that you want and any direction, and the machine will attempt to do it. Now, if you put something in there that doesn't fit, for example, if I was to put in here a 5mm radius, you could not put a 5mm radius between those 2 points. It just wouldn't. It'll come up with an alarm that says end point not found. In other words, you're asking me to do something impossible. So we're coming down, going across. I'm going to the first circle, but we've told it now instead of a 30mm rad, we actually want a 60mm rad. Do you think it's going to alarm out? What do you think it's going to do? Well, it's actually done it. It's put me, I'll just move it round there. You can see it's not tangential to those lines, but then why should it be? It's just a circle between those 2 points. So it's actually stuck me a 60mm rad between those 2 points. And then if you look at this next one, I've actually put 300 in here. And it has put us a 300mm rad. You can probably only just tell. If I just bring that up, you probably can't even tell that that's a radius. But then a 300mm rad is quite big. So it's quite happy to do it. And you notice it's counterclockwise. It's actually arcing in because it was a G3. So you can put whatever rad you want in here. And you can put whatever direction you want in here. And then let's have a look at our circles, because I've jiggered them about a bit as well. So I'm coming down. So I've got this one at G3, counterclockwise. So you can see that's going round a counterclockwise arc. And then the next one now I've put in as a G2. So it's happy to do that, but it puts me a clockwise arc. Okay, so you can go any way you want, G2, G3. The figures don't need to change because my endpoint and everything is exactly the same. So I've not actually changed anything other than the direction that I want to go in. So that's your G2 and G3, and that's how we use them. So we've covered the 4 G codes there. We've covered G0, G1, G2, G3. G0 is a rapid command, so it gets to a position, all the motors will be flat out, not necessarily a straight line, just whichever axis gets there first. G1, always a straight line from point to point, just like you pulled a piece of string between those 2 points. And G2, clockwise arc, so you give it an end point and tell it what radius you want between the start point and the end point. And then G3 is the same, but it's counterclockwise. Now this is not, I'm not actually showing you how to use these G codes, I'm giving you an overview of what these 4 G codes do.